Welcome to Whoreology,
the podcast created to break down shame and stigma around sex and sexuality.
Being a whore is a state of mind.
And we're glad you're here.
So, welcome to the pod.
Thanks.
We have a special guest today. Extra special. Because you're the reason we're all here.
I am the mother bird, and I summoned you all
Really
to
mother bird.
Philadelphia from upstate New York.
Yep.
Glad you're here. Hope you're loving it. I know you still hate it. It's fine. We'll make it in. It's okay.
Would you like to tell us your name?
Oh, my name is Kaylyn.
We have two Kaylyns today.
Oh, I'm so used to it, I totally forgot that's a problem that we're going to have.
It's fine.
Two Kaylyns.
I was going to say double trouble, and I was like, that's such a dad thing to say.
Double trouble.
Oh my god. Yeah, I met you through this Kaylyn.
Mm-hmm.
Many moons ago.
And I met this Kaylyn because my mom started talking to her in line at
That's very
Paramore.
true, and I talked your mom into letting you go to Warped Tour with us.
Yes. Oh my god.
Which is where we met.
Which is
You were
confirmed. Which is confirmed. Are you going to Warped Tour 2025?
I mean, yeah. I don't know when,
have
where,
to.
how, who,
Yep.
but I'll be
Me
there.
I'm so
I
excited.
can't wait.
Yeah.
So shout out to my mom.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dina.
Love her.
Dina.
Miss her. My mom doesn't listen to the podcast.
We should get her on the pod
I
sometime.
haven't told her. She does know about it, but I haven't told her. So I'm going.
when we're like popped off a little
When
more.
we've popped off and we're making money, I'll be like, "Hey, mom, I have a sex podcast."
And you need to come on it.
I don't want to be there. You and Salem can interview her.
Oh, we'll just bring in the other Kaylyn.
Okay, perfect. We'll just sub out the Kaylyns.
Oh my god.
Hey, it's me and Kaylyn, and like just pretend.
Oh my god, absolutely.
Nobody will question
Makes-
it at all.
Yeah.
Full understudy, like it's like nothing
Don't
ever
address it
happened.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want to tell us a little about yourself?
Oh,
You don't have
I'm
to.
Kaylyn. I'm from upstate New York, as well as these two. I moved to Philly in 2017 after getting married when I was 20 years old.
That was 2017.
Bro, I know.
I thought you got married in 2019.
No, girl. The forced, jaw drop is crazy.
She had no idea.
Like, you were at my wedding.
I've not been present for a single moment of my life.
I believe that. And so, yeah, I got married really young and moved him all the way to Philadelphia, kind of against his will. And then we bought a house, and we have cute pets, and I'm a cute little barista in West Philly. And that's my life.
Cute. So, how did you and Lee meet, your husband?
This is a really long-winding story. That I guess Kaylyn knows bits and pieces, but you
I
definitely
actually don't know.
So we went to high school together, and middle school, I guess, if you count that. And his cousin in middle school was my best friend. So I was always in proximity to him and his family through his cousin. And then I would say we really first met at this really lame Christian summer camp. I don't want to say it's lame, that's rude, but it was a summer camp where I was a dance instructor. It was babysitting. And he was also babysitting. And then we met, and at the time he was going to a different school, so we didn't see each other during the school years at all. And then he graduated a year before me, and we ended up at a music festival together the summer before my senior year. And then we dated for a couple months. Hee hee ha ha. And then we broke up because we were being dramatic little high schoolers. And we're like, oh, it'll never work out. We're going to the same college. Our lives are so different. How will we ever make this work? And then I had some flings here and there in between, as did he, which we could talk about later. And then we accidentally reconnected because we both changed those big plans we had and ended up at the same college. And then my friend at the time, as a joke, invited him over to one of our parties. And we haven't been separate since.
That's cute.
So kind of high school sweethearts if you don't think about the rest of it.
I kind of feel like that's better.
No, it was so highly recommended. If
you
can
got
do
some
that.
time to be an adult on your own.
Right,
Yeah.
but also and I say this a lot about why we got married young, I think, or why I justify it, I guess, is we had already known each other since we were in middle school. I didn't have to learn this about a significant other. I was there for a lot of it. But at the same time, we had time apart where we both did stupid things and tried to go our separate ways. And it was nice to reconnect and also like have stuff to talk about those years apart, but also like then we kind of grew together the rest of adulthood. It was like kind of best of both worlds because I still got to be like a stupid college girl and like date stupid boys and like get my heart broken, but like, and so did he. Well, not college boys, but college girlies. And yeah, it was just like, I don't know. So I think once he came back around too, I was like, I'm so over these stupid boys. This one's obsessed with me. Like, what? I might as well stick it out. Like, and here we are.
They gotta be obsessed with you.
No, for sure. Like,
That's cute.
and it feels mutual, but
Yeah.
you know.
What was the proposal story? Did you know that it was coming, or was it like total surprise?
So like, I feel like it's common that like before you get proposed to, like you're gonna talk it out because like I don't want to be surprised.
Yeah.
And like also I want to pick my ring. Let's be for real. Ironically, I thought it was gonna happen in New York City because we had like this whole trip planned. And we had like a whole day to kill. We were gonna walk through Central Park, and I was like, obviously he would do it there. And then he ended up doing it the weekend before our trip, and it was like just back like at home. We like went on a little hike together. We like went by the river for a while, and that's when I also was like, maybe now. And then that was when he was thinking about it, but he didn't want to drop the ring, which rightfully so. And so he proposed on the hike. And then low-key, we went to Applebee's afterwards and like called our parents.
That's cute.
And yeah, so that was simple. And then it was like he wanted me to have the ring for when we were in New York City to be all like cute and flashy.
That's cute.
And I was, so yeah, it was simple and nice. I didn't want like a big, like, I don't want people looking at me. So it kind of nice that it was just like us two alone on like a cute little trail.
Have I talked about my proposal story?
No, please.
No! The people would love to hear your proposal.
Okay.
Please.
So we had this in common. Both happened when we were like younger. I was 21, and we went to DC, and I had no idea it was coming because, like you said, most people talk about it.
Wait, that's so funny. I didn't mean. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
No, that's why I laughed.
Like, this is my worst case scenario.
No,
probably
that's
best
why I
case
laughed
scenario.
when you said it. The only conversation.
Also, you guys did not know each other for that long.
No, we had been dating for like a year at this point. Knew each other for about a year and like 4 months. And we had one conversation about marriage prior to us officially dating where I said explicitly, I do not want to get married. And so we never spoke of it again. Literally, I'm not even joking, never spoke of it again. And so he took me to DC. I had no idea why we were there. And it was Memorial Day. So he all the restaurants were closed.
Memorial Day on DC. What's this kid thinking?
So we had no choices for food. So we went to the Cheesecake Factory.
Some of the Applebee's doesn't seem that bad.
And you had Applebee's after.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, that's good and respectable.
The rest like ate a piece of cheesecake.
Well, no, because he was not planning on proposing here.
Oh.
But he had the ring?
Yes. I don't know why.
He just keeps saying
I think he just didn't know like when exactly we were gonna like he wanted to do it at one of the monuments, and I don't think he knew when we were going there, because we really had nothing planned for the whole weekend.
What monument? Because that also could have been crazy.
This is an incredible storyline.
So
I'm thinking of so many bad things. Like, just keep going, please.
So we ordered the food. We're talking. He makes a comment about how this is gonna be like a really special weekend. I'm never gonna forget.
I got the damn truth.
And let me tell you, it is engraved in my brain.
You're like, I begged my therapist to get rid of this memory.
I know. I was. How do I black this one out specifically? And so, I said, "You're not gonna propose, are you?" I don't know why. That
Can you like?
And that like triggered him to propose
at the restaurant? You said this? Okay.
And he like didn't really say anything. He just kind of went like, "Don't know."
Don't know.
That's worth.
And I said, "Okay, good, because I'm not ready." And then he proceeded to propose.
That same day?
No, in that moment. At the Cheesecake Factory.
You said I'm not ready, and he said, "Lucky you, I have this ring on me."
Well,
He's like,
trap you.
yes, yes. And then I started crying.
Tears of joy or
No, fear.
Did you give him an answer?
I said yes.
Okay. Before or after you cried?
While I was
an
crying.
audience? Like, were people like watching?
No.
Okay.
He didn't get down on one knee.
They're like singing a Cheesecake Factory themed proposal song.
You had the staff come out like birthday. It's like
A piece of cheesecake.
So I said yes, but I could feel it in my gut. I was like, this is a problem. And so we left. I literally couldn't even finish what I was eating. I
Was there like an "I love you" involved? Like,
yeah, he like made like a little speech about how I made him really happy and da 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 da. And I was like,
you
yeah,
said,
that's
"I'm not ready to commit to you," and he said, "I love you more than anything on this earth."
don't leave me, guys. This is my most ridiculous lore, I promise.
I can't believe
no, I
it.
forget all the time that you've been engaged.
No, honestly, so
I know.
same.
I
It's
posted.
such a good like 2 truths, 1 lie.
I know. I cannot step foot back in a Cheesecake Factory now.
You shouldn't.
No. And then they didn't even give
Perfect.
me a piece of free cheesecake.
No, right, that's what I mean. Like, at least, like, bring up the, like, rodeo thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
no, they didn't. So my proposal story is not as good. 6 months later, we broke up.
Thank God it was only 6 months.
6
Yeah.
months too long.
Honestly, like,
We did not plan a single thing.
Good.
Of this wedding. But so that was one of my 2 thoughts of your story. Kaylyn's wedding is the only wedding I've ever been to.
really?
Yeah,
Aww.
and I had no idea what to expect.
Me neither.
I was sitting, like, they had, like, the bride and the groom side, and they sat me down on your side, and you walked in. I think this is the last time I've been in
I
a church,
blacked
too.
out. I don't remember. Like, I feel like.
You walked in, we all stood up, I turned, looked at you, started sobbing. I could not stop crying the entire time. I cried all the way up until after we ate.
It was like an hour later.
2.5 hours. I cried the whole time.
You said, "I don't need a cocktail hour, I need the crying hour."
Yeah.
Also, sort of off topic, but because I was gonna say, I feel like you and Lee hadn't really met before then. Like,
No.
maybe at a show, maybe, but maybe not. And so it reminded me of when we went to go see Halsey together in Toronto. And at the time, Lee and I were living together at my mom's house. And I left to go stay with you for a couple days because we were going to a different country. When I was leaving, Lee was at work, but my mom was on the front porch. And as I'm leaving to be like, "Goodbye, see you in a couple days," Lee's living with her at this point, remind you. She goes, "Have you guys had sex yet?" And I said, "Sure have."
Sure have, bye.
And then I ran away to Kaylyn's house in Rochester, and I let Lee handle that when he got home.
Oh my god. Did
What
she
happened?
say something to him?
I don't think she said anything to him. And, like, my
Okay.
mom is super supportive, so, like, I think more than anything, she thought it was funny. But then calling Lee, being like, "Hey, I hope you had, like, a great day at work. Just so you know, my mom knows that we're banging."
I assumed that already.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
What a crazy question.
come on. But, like, to, like, you know, verify it was, like, maybe a little too much to leave my fiance, I guess boyfriend at the time, with.
Yeah, but just maybe a question she didn't need to be asking.
Like, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
not. She should have also, like, why in that moment?
don't know.
Like, anyways.
Did you have any fears about getting married young?
Yes and no. I feel like I was really, like, kind of naive about marriage. Purposely. Like, I just, like, my mom had been married multiple times. My parents are divorced since, like, I can really remember. Like, so I don't think it was, like, a scary thought to me of, like, a forever. And I know this sounds really bad. But it was also just, like, my mom has signed divorce papers so many times. Like,
Yeah.
I'll figure it out if it doesn't work out. And, like, I'd rather do it and, like, not regret it later on. Especially, like I said, like, with our family still around and stuff. So, like, not really, especially because we were planning to move to Philly at the same time. So I do think that, like, split up my my worries and fears of, like, not only am I marrying someone, but I'm also immediately, like, driving 4 hours south and, like, moving into an apartment.
That's so much change at one time.
No, yeah. Well, and, like,
Yeah.
truly it was, like, we probably would have waited a couple years or something to move, but it was, like, we're already, like, following this, like, high school sweetheart path. I don't want to be, like, trapped. Like, we gotta go now or we're never going to. So it was just like, might as well do it now while we're, like, kind of unsettled somewhere, rather than, like, try again 5 years. So, I feel like it was all just, like, really exciting. Like, I never really, like, was worried about it, again, because I think I was, like, naive to how a marriage would end. Thankfully, hasn't happened.
I was gonna say, yeah, I mean, it all worked out.
And I don't know if that's, like, a advice to, like, take it less seriously, because obviously it's serious, but, like, yeah, I feel like I was just, like, worst case scenarios, I, like, go to the court and sign some papers, and, like, we wish each other well, and, like, it'll be fine. Again, super glad I haven't had to do that. I don't think I will, but,
yeah, you guys are so cute.
I love that I work over here now because we, like, see each other throughout the day, and I'm like, oh my god, that boy is so cute. Like, or he comes in for coffee, and I'm like, oh, wow, you're so cute. Can I get your number? Like,
oh my god, this really cute customer came in today.
That's so cute.
What made you pick Philly?
So, back in my traveling years of concerts and festivals and shows, I lived in the middle of nowhere, upstate New York. Like, even, like, 2 hours south from Rochester. So it's, like, even to go to a Rochester show, it's, like, 2 hours. So usually what I would do, especially for yellow card shows, because I would do multiple, is I would drive here first, and I would stay with my friends in Philly, and then just, like, couch hop, and then we would, like, go to all the other shows around the area. And so, like, Philly kind of felt like home in that, where, like, I was leaving and, like, staying with my friends, and, like, we're, you know, going out to diners at 2 a.m. Like, it was, like, a very, like, chaotic, fun time in my life. And I just always loved it. And then, like, the Wonder Years are from here, so I'm like, how bad can it be? Like, I was just hearing, like, all these, like, really cool, like, pop punk bands around the area, like the Menzingers and, like, Man Overboard is across the river. Like, I was like, this feels like a fun place.
Next time you pick a city,
Fuck off.
will you pick one that doesn't hate me so much?
I mean, I do love that you're willing to keep coming with me wherever I go.
I think you made a great decision, and if you leave, I'm staying here.
No, same. Like, I think I'm gonna have to die in Philadelphia, guys. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
It's really gonna run me into the ground, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was trying to find, I was trying to figure out where I wanted to move to. Mm-hmm. And I've always loved Philly, but I was, like, deciding between, like, here, Baltimore, Boston, and I, like, messaged people I knew in each city.
Which is so funny, because you guys weren't even talking at the time, I don't think.
No.
So, like, Nikki's reaching out to me being like, hey, you, like, really don't really know me, but, like...
We met once.
I need to run away from home.
Yeah, well, I think when I first messaged you, like, asking about Philly, we were not on the best terms, but we weren't not friends. It was, like, end of 2019. Gotcha. And that was the first time I reached out to you, but it was just, like, inquiring, because then the pandemic happened.
Right.
So I didn't move for you know, another year and a half. So the second time I reached out to you, we were not talking. But the first time we were just, like, not talking as much. And, like, you were on tour at the time. So I messaged, I didn't really know, well, I guess I knew Alex. I messaged a couple of people. I messaged this girl named Janelle in Baltimore, who we met at a show one time. And I was like, tell me about Baltimore. And then I messaged you, who I was like, I don't really know you, but tell me about Philly. And both of them were like...
The essay I wrote.
Yes! No! And it sold me I was like, it's Philly. That's the one. Like, because both of them were like, yeah, there's, like, some pros and cons. I, like it, but I it's, like, fine. Like, I might leave. I might stay. And you were like... I'm dying in this city. It's the greatest place in the world. And I was like, okay, sold. Okay.
I was like, here's an apartment building. Call this number.
Yeah, you need a job. I got you a job. Like, everything. I was like, okay, I'm in. And then I was planning to move that spring. That was my plan. I was like, gonna move in the spring. And then spring of 2020, I didn't go anywhere, clearly. So, yeah, I stayed until the vaccine rollout. So it was spring of 2021. I stayed home for another year. And then... as I started looking at apartments before the vaccine rollout, but we knew it was coming at this point. I was like, it's coming, it's on its way, like, so I started looking at apartments again, and then I reached back out to you. I don't remember what I said, but I definitely was messaging you again, and I'm like, hey, I'm applying to New Horizons now. Yeah. And at that point, we were not friends, but I was like, I'm gonna reach out anyway.
Yeah, because secretly, I text Kaylyn, and I was like, man, I'm so excited, like, Nikki's gonna be my neighbor, like, we're gonna hang out all the time, and she's like, actually, like, we're not really speaking right now. And I was like, shit.
She's like, I'm gonna help her move, I'm gonna take care of her, and I was like, oh my god, great, we're not really talking, but have fun. I was like, good luck.
Well, and that's also, like, because, like, respectfully, like, I've been your friend longer, so I was like, do I have to hate this bitch? She
did ask. I said no. I was like,
Obviously.
I was like, no, like, it's fine. We're just, like, not talking.
Yeah.
And then I think it was, like, 2 or 3 months later, I was like, hey, by the way, I was like, Nikki and I are friends again.
No, you told me, not, like, randomly. It was because you were coming to visit and not staying with me as I expected. And you're like, oh, yeah, not only am I staying with Nikki, we're friends again.
That's hysterical. Well, it would have been a while later because, yeah, you texted me before you texted Kaylyn.
Oh, yeah, I guess this was, like,
It was
over
like
a year.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
because you texted me and you were like, oh my God, like, now that you're coming, we gotta get Kaylyn to move here. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I literally, like, I saw the message came in and I was like, how do I reply to this? And I left it, like, unread at the top of my screen for a little bit, and then you sent me a follow-up message and you were like, oh, sorry. And I was like, okay, I'm glad she got that figured out and I didn't need to do it.
Like, so quickly.
Okay, sorry. Anyways.
I was, like, immediately so excited and then I was like, fuck.
We just took, like, the long route to get there.
You did.
But then I, like, that's why I didn't actually reach out on my moving day, because I was going to, but then I was like, oh my God, when she was so nice and helpful, she didn't know that me and Kaylyn were talking. I'm like, what if she hates my guts?
Oh my God, never.
So then I was like, oh, I shouldn't reach out. What if she doesn't like me?
Oh, no.
Not that I mean, you were extremely helpful and great and amazing. But, yeah, and then, yeah, I think it was like a year and a half later, you reached out to me.
Okay. Yeah, that time makes sense.
And I don't think we talked at all during. I mean, we liked each other's photos.
Yeah, yeah, we were like
that, yeah.
very much internet. Well, especially like
Yeah.
during COVID, it's like everyone was internet friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I knew you were like moving to New Horizons, and like I think I kind of like handed you off to Lee. I was like, he'll figure it out.
I saw the day I moved in. Because I walked in the door, like none of my stuff was even there yet, and the smoke alarm was beeping. And I was like, this is gonna
Sounds like
drive
yours.
me up a wall while I'm trying to unpack and stuff. So I literally like did the maintenance thing, and he showed up immediately.
Oh.
And he was like, hey. I was like, oh my God, hi. How are you?
The last time I saw you, you had a black eye.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy.
Oh my God,
Glad
it
it healed.
Oh my God.
So Philadelphia,
Yeah.
we're dying here. Sorry, like I'll get
I'm
the
dying here
grave.
because it's gonna kill me.
No, that's the fun of it. Is you don't know.
You don't know when you're going.
Okay, I hope it's soon because I'm tired.
That's what I'm saying.
So same.
Tired.
So how was socializing as a couple when you guys did get here? Did you branch it on your own, or did you do everything together?
A little bit of both. I had like I said, like one friend in Philly who, when we moved down here, lived like down the street. So that was like really nice. And so like we would spend a little bit of time together, but I wouldn't say it was like Lee's friend. You know what I mean? Like it was my like yellow card friend from years back. And so I feel like we kind of split into like our work groups, or like I think Lee had a harder time grasping because he's like the youngest and the whitest boy that works there. So he was like how am I gonna fit in? And then I was like making like kind of bad friends at like my first coffee shop who were like Temple kids and like just like really partying, having a lot of fun, and I kind of like jumped into that. And then like we would bring everyone together like for parties or whatever. So a little bit of both. I think I kind of just like jumped in really fast and like kind of like felt really at home immediately, where I think Lee took like at least like a year and a half to like really be like, all right, I like it here.
Which I feel like is fair when you go to like a brand new city.
Yeah, and it's like we had like the tiniest apartment on earth. Like you already feel like so like whole. I just did that. Like oh my God, I just moved and I don't no one here knows me. And so there's like something that's liberating to that, but also like really terrifying. I do think like it brought us together as a couple like way quicker than we probably would have, because it's like we're stuck in a 300 square foot apartment together and like we just got married, like we got to figure it out. And I think that like I don't know, kept us like strong and going for it, and we like upgraded apartments and kind of like got more like settled. And then in 2020 we bought the house, and I feel like ever since then it's like we're here to stay. So, and he's like made good friends at work and everything, and he's like really good friends with my friend group right now, which is great. And yeah, I mean he's like a little social butterfly too, so I think it all worked out.
That's so nice.
I remember your guys' first apartment.
I
Small.
So
slept on
tiny.
that couch once.
I think you both did, which is insane.
No, that was the second apartment.
Which is
Oh.
still pretty small. But
Yeah.
Okay, I've never seen the first
Their
one.
first apartment was even smaller.
it was like a closet. And then we had Frank, and it was...
Do you remember the chair that I slept on when
You both stayed?
we both stayed? That chair was
like next to our
their bed, and I slept on that.
Like you're reading them a bedtime story.
No, literally.
Aww. You could have just
We
crawled
really
right
roughed
on
it out.
I could've.
When I would like have
Like a little
parties, it would be like everyone, all right, sit on the floor in the kitchen.
Yep.
We got no other space
so
or chairs.
funny.
So
That's what I'm doing now, basically.
Not for long.
Not for
Not
long.
for long.
I move in like 2.5 weeks.
That's so nice.
Now with all of us here, do you wish that you were going out more? Do you like that your party years are done, or do you feel like your party years are done?
I think like yes, and yes. Like it's really just like a stamina thing. Like, oh my god, I feel 30 and I also work at like 5 a.m. So that doesn't like really make a great environment for like me to go out a bunch. But yeah, I just also feel like I kind of turned into like a little grandma, especially during COVID. Like when I feel like that like is what made me settle down, because up until then, like I was a college student, like hanging out with my friends in the city, skipping my classes to go to Good Dog Bar, like, so having like a hard stop on that, I feel like just totally shifted my like perspective. I feel like I became like career oriented, and then we got a dog, and getting a dog does not help, because that dog, when he looks at me when I'm leaving, is heartbreaking, and he just wants to cuddle and like have a little treat, and who am I to not give him that? So yeah, but like I do love like living through you guys. It's very fun, because also I'm just like, god, like I feel like I'm like a couple years ahead of where you guys are now, where like I feel like I also had this like time where I was like going out and like being fun and stupid and like just like not sleeping and like doing who knows what, and like so it's like fun to watch again and like live through it, and like the way I'm like, oh my god, look, they're at Woody's tonight, like literally I'm obsessed like a little grandma.
I don't know. We had a fun night out at a house party.
See, I feel like
recently. You and me.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was jealous.
Had fun. Is a crazy.
And
People were doing
birthday
tattoos in the living room.
I would have gotten one.
Yeah.
Like
I would have gotten a cocaine tattoo.
We like show up at this.
my friend Ian from college drags me to all of the worst places on earth, and I don't know how he does it. I don't know why I let him convince me
Wait, I
to
know
do
this
so.
city is massive, but Ian, what's Ian's last name?
He's not.
Oh,
from
he's
here.
from like
Rochester.
FLCC days. Like he's from Rochester.
But he lives here now, right?
No.
Oh.
That's why, like, even I'm like, why are you dragging me to this? He's in a band. That's very good.
Well, first I work with an Ian, so I thought maybe it was the same Ian. But
I
now
didn't
I
have-
But also, Philadelphia is so painfully small, and I would not be surprised. Shit like that happens to me all the time. I'm like, you know this person, and it's
the way I was I was working KG Elephant the other day, and I saw 2 men that I went on bad dates with.
That's terrible. Every time I like get a girl's Instagram who I'm talking to, I go to her Instagram and we have like 7 mutuals. It's crazy. Like I never meet somebody who I have nobody, and I always have to be like, fuck, who do we know? I went out with 2 roommates once on accident. Like I went out with a roommate, and then like a year and a half later I went out with her roommate.
Oh yeah, how I Met Your Mother.
Oh.
So he invited us to a show at a venue, and
I thought it was gonna be like a bar. Like I thought we were going to like a bar.
no,
show.
for real, like something simple. And we walk into this whole ass house. We walk into a living room, and I'm like, I don't think we're in the right spot. This girl's having a whole ass birthday party. Like, decorating, there's a cake, we ate cake in her kitchen. No one else is there. It's just me and Nikki and this girl at her birthday party. Swear to God.
There's like one man, but he was outside, and then he came in.
So I'm like,
I thought you texted me about this. I thought you walked into like a birthday party that was in like full swing.
no, we helped her decorate. I am not kidding.
I was blowing up balloons. But like, we weren't supposed to enter. They were like, oh, people aren't here for the concert yet. And also for the concert, you were supposed to like go around back
And,
and
like,
go
pay
down to
money,
the basement.
probably.
Yeah. And we just like didn't know, so we just walked in the front door. And so it's like just this girl who lives here, and she's setting up her birthday party upstairs. The concert's in the basement.
That's so funny.
And
She's very nice. Hope she's well.
She was really nice. Yeah.
How old was she?
Younger than us, I feel like.
I feel like she was younger than us.
Yeah. But probably at
Um,
least, like, I don't know, like 21, 22,
Yeah.
23, I don't know.
Probably like 23.
I would guess drinking age
Yeah.
younger than me.
And turns out there was in fact a basement show. It was in fact Ian's band, even though he was not there at the time, like a jerk. And And
We just like to be early.
yeah, early girlies. Also, I do remember, this is so off topic, but when we were walking there, we saw so many rats. I have never seen more rats in this city. And yeah, so we go into this basement that is like quite literally a basement. Like, it is not a basement show, it is a basement. Bicycles and storage and all. And they're having like this cute little show, and it was fun.
And a birthday party upstairs.
And so then we like go to leave, and they're like, yeah, grab merch in the living room. So we go to the living
Back
room.
upstairs.
Oh, we gotta go back upstairs.
And suddenly it's full. The girl's having a great birthday party. And there's just like a guy like doing tattoos on the couch, like
Really
licking
good.
the needle probably before putting it. Like, it was so
There are drugs on the coffee table.
like lines, like it was bad. And I was like, I'll take one t-shirt, please. I was
Where is Kaylyn taking me?
I was like, Nikki, I'm so sorry. We've hung out 3 times, and this is like
I
the 4th.
had a great time.
I also had a great time. I just was like,
It was crazy.
What?
Yeah, like I was thinking that we would like go to a bar. Oh my god, and we were both stone cold sober.
no, painfully.
Like, because we thought we were going to a bar! Yeah, we thought it was like we would be able to get a drink when we got there.
It was a time. My years in Philly pre-COVID, we call them the Jason Segel summer because it's when Jason Segel was filming some show here. But it's like everywhere you would go, you'd fucking see Jason Segel. Like, he was just always everywhere.
Like in person?
Swear to God, yeah.
He's just around.
And like one time my friend was like looking ahead because like traffic was like stopped, and she like got out and looked, and Jason Segel was helping someone parallel park. Like, my friend like ran into him at Pride and like gave him a high five. Like,
those
he
are
was just like
parties.
always around and like alone. So like we called it Jason Segel summer because then we would go to bars hoping to see Jason Segel. We never did.
I have to look him up. Why do I not remember who he is?
Marshall? Anyways.
Okay, that's what I thought. But
Yeah.
I was like, it's
Jason
the
Segel
wrong
summer.
one.
That's so
Okay.
funny.
Helping someone parallel park is really good.
But yeah. So
So you had your party years.
yes. In fact, my 22nd birthday is the first and I think only real time I've ever blacked out. Like, gone. Like, would wake up, tell Lee to call an ambulance, pass back out.
Did he call an ambulance?
No, because then my like friend who was also a little drunk but logical was like, she doesn't need an ambulance. She just needs to puke. It's fine. Like,
She'll be fine.
she'll be okay. And every time I wake up, she'd be like, you can't afford it. And I'm like, you're so right.
Could have thrown you in an Uber, maybe.
Yeah, well, and like Lee drove, but then I was like too unwell, and then I hit my head off the toilet seat so hard I had a bruise the next day because I threw up mid pass out.
Oh God.
Lee says, so the next day was my actual birthday, and Lee was like, how was last night? And I was like, I don't remember, but I'm really sad I didn't get to eat any of the s'mores because all I fucking wanted for my birthday was to eat s'mores around a campfire at my friend's apartment. And I didn't think I had any. He said I had 5. Yeah, no, it was not in my stomach at that moment, but
How did your guys' views align on children? Did you talk about it before you got married, or was it decided after?
this is such a hard pivot.
Yeah, hard.
But it's important.
Blacking out to children.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, so I think when we got married, it was kind of like, it'll happen when it happens. I didn't feel like any, like, want or need to have kids. But everyone kept telling me that I would feel it eventually, and I kind of, like, didn't realize I was, like, believing that. And so I was just like, yeah, like, one day, when my brain is fully formed, like, I'll want a kid, maybe. And then time kept happening, and I feel like that feeling never came. If anything, it, like, plummeted. And we talked about it a little bit, and, like, I think for a while Lee was still, like, in the future, like, we'll figure it out. Like, we're still young, like, it doesn't matter. And then, truthfully, Roe v. Wade got overturned, and then that was, like, a big, like, we need to have a conversation. Because at the time, also, and we'll get more into this, at the time of this decision, I was not on birth control. We were being a little risque.
Were you using protection?
Occasionally. I was like, tracking my ovulation.
Okay, great.
That's so scary.
Scary.
Well, because I probably can't say this on the pod, but I just get an abortion. Like,
I mean, you could say that.
you respect, like, I don't, like, choice. Like,
Yeah.
So it was never really like a huge question, and like obviously I was like as safe in the moment as I could be, but I was coming off of birth control and kind of readjusting to that life. And so it was kind of like, well, we kind of need to like make a decision, because if not, like we need to figure out how to make sure like it doesn't happen when we don't want it to happen. And a lot more played into this. I think at the same time, Lee's brother and his wife were also trying to have a kid, and having a lot of difficulties with it. So they were like obviously very much wanted a kid, and like watching that, I think, turned me into a panic of like, oh my god, I don't feel that way, and like if I was a kid, like I'd want my parents to feel that way about having me, and so that kind of like helped the decision of like, oh, like we shouldn't have a kid just because like, well, maybe like it should be like 100%. And then, you know, the economy and, you know, healthcare and the world of problems that come with living in the United States and Pennsylvania.
You're a pet parent. That's a whole job as it is.
Girl, I know. Like, that too, dude, when Winston had surgery and I cried on the phone to the vet being like, please, like, is there any chance? He's like having a very normal, casual surgery. I'm like, is there any way he's gonna die? And she's like, no, but like legally I have to say yes. Like, we can just say no. Like, I was like, I can't do this if it's like a human child. What do you mean? Like, I'm a mess. Or like when Frank got sick. Like, so I've accomplished that side of motherhood.
Oh wait, that was just for Winston getting neutered?
Swear to God. When we first got him, I called the vet because I was like, he's like walks when he's pooping. Like, is he okay? And she was like, yeah, he's just dumb. Like,
I'm diagnosing your dog with stupid.
Your dog is a certified dumbass.
He absolutely is. Have you seen those eyes? There's nothing behind them. Like,
Oh my god.
so yeah, like I know what I would be, I think, as a mother, and it's probably not the most non-toxic version of myself. And so yeah, we like ultimately made the decision that like if later down the line we decide we like wake up one morning and we want a kid, like we would probably adopt first, would be like the first in line option to take, just with the idea that like if we were gonna have a kid, I would want to have the same amount of money that's necessary for adoption if we were to have like a child ourselves. So it's like that's not really a deterrent for me, because like I feel like that's realistic for any sort of child you bring into your home. And honestly, since then we haven't really looked back. Oh, I should mention Lee got a vasectomy. I guess that's an important part. And
Which I love. I think more men should do that.
Yeah, that's king shit right there.
Literally same. Like, it has been life-changing.
I think at your Halloween party last year, we all went around and high-fived him.
Oh, because
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, when you get a vasectomy, they send you a certificate in the mail signed by your doctor.
I feel cheated. I'm surgically sterilized and I didn't get a certificate.
That's fucked up.
No, Lee got a certificate like
Sexist.
framed that has like a little sperm and like an X on it. Signed by the doctor. I like kid you not.
Will you make me a certificate for my fallopian tubes?
I would love to.
That's-
I put an egg instead.
That's literally, please.
It's
That's
like a chicken egg.
Yeah.
that's absolutely crazy.
No, it's so funny.
Why does he need to be celebrated for his choice and I'm shamed for mine?
I don't know. Great question.
Great question.
Did you, this is a question on here, did you try to pursue sterilization for you or did you not want that?
It's not that I didn't want it, because I think I would, but I think, I mean, realistically, like, a vasectomy was just easier, like, for him, which is, like, annoying. And I can't say, like, firsthand experience that, like, they would have given me any trouble for not having kids. I know that's, like, something that probably does happen. But I'd also just come off of hormonal birth control, and I think, not that it was, like, his turn, but it was very much, like, I don't know if I can do this again. Like, if, like, I just don't want to go through, like, I just got my emotions back, please. Like, I don't want to, like, go into something like that again. And also, like, I made it very clear about his vasectomy, like, I did not want part of that decision. Like, he knew my thoughts on it, and, like, I thought it was a good idea, but I was also like, this is something, like, you call a doctor, you make the, like, I don't want to sway your decision. Like, this, I know this is something, like, personal and, like, important for your body. As much as I do, like, love and appreciate that he did that and like was willing to, and it was so easy. When I tell you he made the call on a Sunday and got it done on Thursday,
Oh my
and then
God.
went back to work the next Monday, like so easy. So
How was his,
easy.
like, recovery?
Like nothing.
That's
Bro.
He
crazy.
like shouldn't lift 30 pounds, but like
Yeah.
I went in for a consult in August. I made the appointment in June. I went in for it in August. I had to go back in October to sign papers saying, yes, I'm sure I really want this. And then I had to go back in December and sign the same paper saying, yes, I'm actually really sure I want this. And then I got a call to schedule the procedure for January. So from the time I called to schedule the appointment, it took 6 months for my procedure to get
That's crazy.
completed. Yeah, and then I was out of work for a week. It really wasn't that bad. I've had another abdominal surgery, and that one was way worse. But it they didn't give me any problems in terms of like, well, what if you change your mind? What if you like, what about your future husband? Like, you know, all that stuff. They were like, I'm sorry, you have to sign this paper, and like we have no way around this.
Yeah.
Like the doctors were really apologetic about it, and they were like, and then they asked me at one point, they were like, you aren't married, right? And I said no, and they said, okay, because if you are, we have paperwork for your partner to sign.
That's crazy. Did you have to sign anything?
no, nothing. I
Yeah.
had to be there to like
Wow.
take him home after. Like he's not allowed to like leave
Yeah.
being
But, like, anybody could have picked
Yeah,
him up.
that could have been
Yeah.
literally a stranger on the street. Like I didn't have
Yeah.
to sign anything or say anything.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
it was like, it was taxing because I don't know, I've known for so long that I wanted this procedure, and I'm the same that, like, I hate kids, we know this,
Yeah.
but if I have
Well,
a
same
child,
currently. I don't know if I got that point across. I do not want kids.
yeah, well, like, even just, like, someone else's child, I don't want it near me.
I love our nephew. I really do. That's the cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but if I have a child, I'm adopting the child.
Right.
Like, I do not want to birth a child out of me.
Yeah.
And, but this has caused, like, fights in my family. And so I went through this whole process, and did not tell my mom about it until a week before the procedure. And I told her because I felt really guilty. Like, I spent hours in therapy being like, and talking to Nikki about it. I was like, should I tell her, should I not tell her, should I tell her, should I not tell her? I was going to Uber to and from the appointment. I was going to have a coworker get me. Like, I was like, I am just not telling her because, like, we've had blowout fights about it. With the whole, like, well, you'll change your mind eventually. And it's like, no, actually, like, yeah, I get my frontal cortex isn't fully developed, but, like, never once in my life have I even looked at a child and been like, I want that.
And I also feel like, aside from that very specific feeling that I obviously think is important, like, how are we supposed to raise a kid in this world right now? Like,
Yeah.
like it just isn't realistic. And also, like, especially with, like, reproductive rights, it's like, we don't know where we're going to be in 10 years. And, like, even if I wanted a kid in 10 years, like, there's, like, an ectopic pregnancy possible. Like, there's so many things that, like, now it's just, like, genuinely scary, even if I
Yeah.
did have the feeling of wanting a kid.
Yeah, and it's
And
also
that's-
like, you know how many kids are in the foster system?
Right.
You know how many kids need to be adopted? It's like, I wish that more people in general would do adoption. And I'm like, I, at this moment in my life, cannot see myself having children. I have no interest in having kids. I recognize that maybe my mind will change eventually in terms of actually raising a kid. I promise you, I will never want to push a baby out. That is not something that I'm ever going to be okay with happening to me.
I kind of feel
Ever.
the same. Where, like, I could
Yeah.
see myself, like, raising a kid one day. Maybe.
Yeah.
But, like, the idea of, like, having, like, a biological kid, I have no interest in.
Genetics are not all that makes a family.
Yeah.
No.
And also, like, my genetics aren't great. And, like, I don't want to pass down.
Everyone in my
What I
family
have.
dies from cancer. Okay, you
Right.
want to be my kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. With you, like, the way you said Roe versus Wade, like, got overturned, and that's when you were like, okay, we gotta do something here. That's exactly how it was for me. It's like, I kept, like, kind of pushing it off, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this eventually. Because, like, I'm an adult and my mom can't stop me. But then Roe versus Wade got overturned, and I was like, okay, now I'm afraid. I'm
Right.
fearful.
Like, a countdown is on now.
Yeah, I was like, there's gonna be a point where this procedure is gonna get outlawed, and I can't get it,
Right.
and I spent hours upon hours on the Reddit like sterilization thread, and there were so many people that were like, after they got it, they got like a little wave of regret, or they felt a moment of regret. I never once for a single moment had that.
Yeah.
So I know, and I never felt more comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
Like until after that procedure.
Yeah, just knowing that like there wouldn't be a parasite in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I'm a lesbian, obviously. I've never even slept with a man. I've had nightmares about being pregnant. I think it's like the scariest thing.
Well, and for a while, my mindset was like, well, like, how bad can it be? Like, we're if we use protection, we're so fine, and like, I get on birth control maybe. And then my friend was like, yeah, but like, rape exists. Like,
Yeah.
like you really truly never know. Like, as the woman involved, like, it doesn't have to be my husband, and like, that's also scary. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, I like to be like an independent woman, like walk around the city, and like, you just never know.
Yeah.
It got scary.
That's literally my number one fear
Yeah.
in life. Oh my god, the day that Roe vs. Wade got overturned, I was obviously dog walking, and I saw, no lie, like 5 different women crying that day in Clark Park. Oh god, you can cut this. Somebody at and like, she was supposed to be checking me out, and she was crying so hard that somebody had to come in and check us out. I was like, and she was apologizing. I was like, it's okay. I'm like, I'm assuming I know exactly why you're crying.
Like,
it's okay.
That's so sad.
I feel like it's, especially like politically as an adult, I feel like that was the first time that like I like saw the action point blank happen that wasn't supposed to happen. If that like, I was like, oh, they're serious. Like, they don't like me. And so I was like, well, if this is where they start, like, it goes on and on and on. And like, so yeah, it's scary being a woman.
So scary.
I read it, and I was like, am I on The Onion right now? I was like, this is a joke. And then I like kept going, and I was like, oh, this is real. And I was like, I like then got into like arguments with my mom about it. I was like, we're headed for The Handmaid's Tale, and she was like, no, that's never gonna happen. And I'm like, Mom, this is like the first time in your entire life that they have taken away a right that they have given you.
Yeah.
And
Like,
she's like,
50 years ago, maybe? Like,
yeah.
like, it hasn't been around that long. Like,
Yeah. And she's like, I just don't think that's going to happen. I'm like, Mom, we're regressing.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I don't know. It really stresses me out.
If you're okay with sharing this with the pod, how was it, like, how did it go when you did tell your mom?
I wrote down what I was going to say to her. And I, like, sat down on the floor because I couldn't stand. And I wasn't living with her at the time. And so I was like, I went to her house and I said, I have something to tell you, and I need you to let me say the whole thing before you, like, give me your feedback or ask me any questions. And so she was like, okay. She got a notebook and a pen because she thought she was going to have, like, a lot to say or ask me. She had no idea what it was about. And I told her, I was like, I'm an adult. And I need you to know that this is really important to me, and I'm getting this procedure done. Here's the procedure. Here is the process. If your qualms about it are X, Y, and Z, here are my answers to X, Y, and Z. Which is like, what if you regret it? What if you change your mind and want a child? I can still have a child through IVF. Like, I had what I was prepped for the answers, and I barely got 2 sentences in, and I was sobbing. And I finished, and she got up and she gave me a hug, and she was like, I'm so sorry I made you feel like you couldn't tell me this, because I was like, the surgery is actually And she was like, how long have you been planning this? And I was like, 6 months. And she was like, I'm so sorry I made you feel like you couldn't tell me this. And I said, I'm really truly so scared about what is happening with our government right now, and you have made me feel like I can't talk to you about this and that I'm irrational for thinking this, but I'm not. Like, people are dying because they don't have access to abortions, and like I just can't be in that position, and I really don't want to be pregnant ever. And she was like, she's like, okay, just let me know what you need from me. So it went really well, and it opened up like a new path of communication for us, and we haven't had issues like that since. So yeah.
We talked about birth control a little bit. How long were you affected by the side effects of birth control before Lee had his procedure? Do you want to talk about the side effects of birth control, physical, mental? How did y'all work through these together?
So many good questions. I know like you have your stories too of this experience. And I will say, it's not that I'm like talking badly about birth control, because I know it works for a lot of people, and it's also sometimes the only option, and I support that. However, for me personally, as an individual, a living nightmare. Also, to be fair, I like chalk up a lot of it to the fact that like I was getting birth control a lot while I was moving. So I was always switching doctors and like places and like generic prescriptions of my birth control, and I'm sure that didn't help the effects of it. Which are pretty simple. It's like I felt emotionless, like so like zombie-esque, which was scary because I feel like I was always like a really emotional person. I was literally emo in high school. Like I had emotions, and I think it took me a long time to realize that. I was like feeling kind of numb because I was also just busy. Like I was going to school and like all of this stuff, and then I feel like the physical aspect kind of came in delayed from the mental. And that was just that, like, I physically, like, couldn't have sex in a way that I wanted to. And it, like, really changed our sex life for a while in the beginning of our marriage. And, like, bless his heart, Lee was, like, very patient. And, like, we figured out a lot of stuff on, like, how to make it work and how often to make it work. But he also understood that, like, this is something that's, like, kind of affecting your body in a way that you have no control over. And, like, there are plenty of tools and lubricants on the market that are made to help these situations if that is also a problem. But yeah, essentially like I just wasn't loving like not having feelings, physical or mental. So I'm curious on like your standpoint of how you felt, or both of you, I guess. But
well, I did not have this problem with birth control, but I had the same exact side effects on Zoloft. So when I was with Ned, there was a time period where he could not have sex. And then I think it was a combination between Zoloft and feeling like his mother. And so then I stopped wanting to have sex with him. And I was very patient and understanding with him, and then he was not very patient and understanding with me. And we did not know, but like I didn't even know why I like didn't want to. And so,
exactly, I feel like that's how I felt. It was just like I wasn't even thinking about having sex. Like it wasn't that like I didn't want to. It's that like it was like something I never heard of, which was so weird.
Yeah, no, I agree. It just like completely like shut down whatever part of your brain.
Seriously, which is like so ironic because it's like chances are like I was having birth control so I could have sex.
Yeah.
Like,
and then we broke up. I went off of it, and I didn't have sex for like a year and like 4 months after I broke up with him. And then I finally started dating again, got back into the groove of things. And then I did go back on Zoloft, and I was nervous about it because I was like, oh, this is going to kill my sex drive. And it didn't. So I was like, okay, maybe it was like a combination of that. And I do think it really was like I just wasn't attracted to him anymore. But I just came off of it again.
the birth control or the SSRI?
The SSRI. In May, and I feel fine. I mean, my emotions were fucked up for a while, but
coming off of Prozac, I was like, I need a straitjacket. Like, I'm crying for years worth of crying that I did not do.
Yeah, that's why I came off of Zoloft, just because I couldn't cry, and I didn't even know until Nikki like mentioned that another friend of ours stopped crying on Zoloft, and I was like, when's the last time I cried? And then now I need straitjackets for my eyes. They won't stop.
But that's like normal for you.
No, exactly.
Yes.
You don't realize how much you miss that. Like,
Yeah.
you miss being able to, like, feel things.
Yeah.
God, I love
it
my
sounds
feelings.
so crazy and simple, but, like,
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know, like, I want to cry sometimes.
But while I was on Zoloft the first time, I was taking the pill, and then I did eventually get the one in my arm. And so it could have been like a combination of both. I loved the one in my arm. I went on that one because I was taking a migraine preventative that lowered the efficacy of the pill, and they were like, yeah, if you get pregnant, the migraine preventative causes mega birth defects, so it will lower the efficacy of your birth control, and then there's a higher chance you're gonna have a fucked up kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, great.
Interesting turn of events.
I was like, what can I do about this? So they gave me the one in the arm, and then that didn't come out until I got surgically sterilized. So I don't know. I kind of loved her. We were besties.
Right. And, like, I do think, like, maybe the pill was my issue. I obviously, like, didn't explore much past that. Mostly because I was scared of the one in the arm.
My doctor held my hand. So she, I love my doctor back in Rochester, and she comes into the room and she's like, would you be okay if a nurse practitioner learns how to put it in your arm? I said, learns? I said, that depends. Are you going to hold my hand while she does it? And she goes, yeah.
No, was she cute?
I don't know. I've never seen her face. Like, I've seen her eyes.
Right,
but she, like, COVID, she's always...
I'm just staring at her tits the whole time.
just staring directly at her titties. No, she's always had a mask on.
We had a great rack.
But no, she held my hand. The nurse practitioner did a great job. And then I was mostly scared of it coming out, but they did that while I was under anesthesia.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And I got the one in the arm because I was so scared of the IUD. I've heard horror stories.
Yeah, me too. Or just, like, the insertion process. I've heard horror
It's, like,
stories.
really painful. Yeah.
Yeah, I have never been on any kind of birth control. Don't plan on it. It's terrifying to me.
Your birth control is lesbianism?
Yeah,
I know.
my preferred
best
method
one.
is lesbianism. But yeah, I feel like it's just so, you don't know, person dependent. You know?
It really is.
Our friend Sarah started taking the pill at like 18 or something like that. Been on the same one ever since. Never had a problem. But then like my sister, she's done everything you can. Multiple different pills. She did like the patches. She had the IUD. She got her IUD taken out recently. It's like she's done everything in the book, and she has had every negative symptom that you could possibly imagine through the process. And she's still to this day. It's like been doing this since she was a teenager. She's older than I am, and she still cannot find. She's 27, your age. She still cannot find one that works for her.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's just for some people it works, some people it doesn't, and for the people it works for, amazing.
100%.
So
not
great.
me, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's so terrifying because you don't know.
Yeah, and it's like, on the other hand of that, it's like I've obviously talked to my doctor about this a little bit because even after getting off of birth control, I would say almost a year until I was like back to normal, physically and mentally. Like, I feel like it took so long, and I remember talking to my doctor, like, what the heck? Like, I'm still having these weird side effects even though I'm like literally not on it anymore. And I asked if I could have my hormones tested, and she was like, well, yeah, we could test them, but it's like most of like the medical research on hormones isn't done on women, so like we won't really know anything. We'll just be able to tell you what your hormones are. And I was like, so you're telling me this is pointless? She was kind of like, we won't really get an answer.
So when did you figure out your sexuality? Was it before or after marriage?
I feel like I came to terms with it after marriage. I'm from a cute little small town where like kind of no one's gay when you're in high school.
Yeah.
And
Hey, I hate to break it to you. They're all gay.
a couple years later, they're all gay.
No one doubt.
They're all in the closet.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think it was. I guess I just like wasn't questioning it, and I was really boy crazy when I was in high school. I'll give it that. And then I also think in general, I have like a lot of platonic love for like my friends, and I think I was always just like, I just like really love my friends. Like, it's fine. Like, we only kiss sometimes. And like, and then I don't know. It was like one of those things where like I guess I never really like sat down and like had like a yes or no conversation with myself. It was just like, oh, like I guess I'm into this. Like that's crazy because I've also like never had sex with a girl. And so it wasn't a matter of like, do I need to go do this? Because I obviously feel like very secure and satisfied in my marriage. That it wasn't a matter of me being like, oh, I need to like go out and have this experience. But I do think as like a person it affects me and that like I feel like I'm a queer person. And I feel like that comes with so many other things outside of like who you're having sex with. And so that's why I like to talk about it, or at least just like even claim it, because I do feel like it can be hard to claim it when like I don't feel queer enough because I am bisexual in like a straight presenting relationship. And I will say too, Lee, like I won't rat him out too much, but like we also kind of had a similar awakening of like, I think I just like love people. Like I don't think it's like this binary thing. And so we kind of like came to terms with it together. But again, I like the personality aspects of it of like for Lee, it's a little more clear because it's like, oh, I can paint my nails and like feel good about that and like not feel like I'm less masculine because I find men attractive. Like those were like the barriers to break down. Like I wasn't as concerned much about my sexuality with the sex itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. And I think, Kaylyn, I want to hear from you too, because like you kind of dated boys up until recently-ish.
I've only dated men.
Yeah, so it's like
I kiss a lot of women.
but I like you're very queer. Like I feel like we
Look at her.
right. Like, come on.
Look at both of you.
So it's like I don't know. I'm curious. Like, how do you feel like you are queer enough?
I kiss
you
women.
also struggle with that.
No, I do.
Yeah.
I do feel like I am behind or like fail as a bisexual because I've never dated a woman, I've never slept with a woman. And I think a lot about like how I'm like, am I in the way that like some people are like, am I really straight? I'm like,
Am I really gay?
I'm like, am I really gay? Like, am I just saying I'm gay because all my friends are gay? Like, peer pressure into being gay? Yeah. But then I, like, kiss a woman, and I'm like, straight people don't do this.
Right. No, and that was, like, Lee jokes because he always says that he had to tell me I was bisexual. He's like, hey, I don't think I want you kissing your friends that much anymore because I don't think it's just kissing your friends. And I was like, you're not wrong. I'm also realizing this.
Clocked you.
And like in general, like I do still show affection to my friends, and I think that's like kind of a different thing than like the sexuality aspect of it. But I think we were both just really comfortable with each other about it, and like given at the time too, I was like kind of lucky enough that I didn't have to discover this while being like in my small town with my family. Like not that I never was, but I just like never really identified it, I guess, or like had the experiences of doing so.
Yeah, it's hard when you don't have a lot of like representation around you. It's like
right,
and especially I think when you like men, because like I still was so late in figuring mine out, and I think the biggest like reason that I found out was not because I was attracted to women, because I was like, oh, everybody has girl crushes and everybody thinks all their friends are cute, right?
Like, everyone like loves Hayley Williams, right?
Yeah, like everybody feels this way, right? Like I'm totally normal. It's like the reason that I figured it out was because of my lack of attraction to men. So I feel like having the attraction to men still makes it even harder.
No, I like how you said it because I feel like mine was the reverse. I was like I am just attracted to both. Like
yeah.
And like even if it's just the attraction aspect, even if I'm not like having sex with women, I don't think that makes me less bisexual.
No.
Like the attraction is still there, and again, like I think it's also like the identity itself around it. Like I surround myself with a lot of queer people too, and I think that helps because I have such a wide range of queer in my friend groups. And
we find each other. We really
do. We really
do.
We like I take you with me.
Yeah.
And so I never felt like I really had like a coming out moment because I don't know. I feel like that's something that I almost reserve for people who like do have to like admit to their parent, and like it is a bigger thing where like I don't feel like I have the need to do that because it also doesn't affect visually what my relationship looks like, and I don't think people need to really like know the ins and outs of my sexuality off the top of their head. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just who I am. I feel like you can hopefully tell that I'm a little queer and like I'm proud of it, but I also like want to reserve space for people who like had a more troubling time admitting that, because I kind of didn't, and like that's, you know, a privilege.
Yeah, I will say for the last like year, I have just used the label bisexual and stuck with that. But Nikki and I were just talking about this in depth the other night, where I'm exploring the concept of pansexuality, because I really don't know how they differ. Okay, you guys, I'm just gonna lay that out.
I feel like I'm in the same boat where like bisexual is like what I use. It's the most common term I use, but realistically, like I just like love people.
Yes, like I wouldn't ever like not date someone because they're like non-binary or transgender. Like everybody's welcome here,
right?
You know. But then everybody who's kind and nice and thinks I'm pretty. But then also working out my difference in, like, if we just use the binary for right now, working out my sexual and romantic differences between a man and a woman. Because I never really like considered that. I wouldn't say I have a preference towards men. I just find it easier to date men.
There's so many of them, and they're always hitting on you everywhere you go.
Yeah.
You gotta really work for a woman.
I know. And I think just because I haven't ever, like, I can walk into like a bar and find a woman and make out with her consensually.
You just grab her.
But then I've had women like offer to take me home, and I get scared and I say no. And it's just because I'm like, am I supposed to be doing this? And I don't know. I just panic a little bit. I know.
I'm pro this.
I know.
It is hard. I feel like there is a lot of doubt behind it.
Like, it's also hard to do something like new. Like, just the fact that you said you already feel behind. It feels like a whole new experience, and now you're like, oh God, I'm like going into this. I don't know what I'm doing. You're probably drunk. You probably met her at a bar. You know, it's a lot.
And it's like, I should, probably start with a date, but then the dating apps are really hard. And now I'm banned from Tinder.
I get insecure by it, and like, I don't know, like my fear is that like someone's gonna be like, oh, like when did you sleep with a girl? Which, why would somebody say that?
Yeah.
But like, and like I don't have an answer for that. Thanks for noticing or accepting my sexuality as it is.
Noticing your gayness? It's pretty easy.
What? What did you say?
Noticing your gayness.
Oh,
I thought you were joking.
I heard anus and I freaked. I'm so sorry. That really scared me. I was like, what did I do?
No, noticing your anus.
I'm so sorry. That was like such a teenage boy thing I'm going to do, but I'm so sorry.
I thought you were like playing into a joke, like, oh my God, you could tell?
No, I thought you were going a very different conversation route.
I'm like, no, when have you seen her anus?
Wait, okay.
Never.
Podcast is for the girlies, and I feel like I have to justify my my husband because it's so weird that he's my husband.
No, we lovely. The
Yeah.
girlies lovely.
The girlie's lovely.
We do lovely. He's such a girly.
He's one of the girlies.
He is. He loves it too. Like, he really takes pride in being one of the girlies. One time he did retrieve my Diva cup from my vagina, and honestly, I've never looked back.
I think it's so funny how parallel our lives are.
Is this a universal experience? What's going on?
One time, I got a Diva cup stuck, and Ned would not retrieve it.
Stop it! Wait. I need both of you to sit down and tell your stories. Back it the fuck up. You first, Kaylyn with a K.
I tried a Diva cup because I wanted to be sustainable. And, I don't know where she went. She was in there. And I didn't know what to do. And it's really awkward to pull it out the first time because I was just like hunched over. It was not pretty. And of course the time came where I was like, Lee, it's you go in here or like we call a doctor. Like, I'm freaking out. Like, I don't know what to do in this situation. And I laid on the bed and he retrieved it. as
What
you
a
should.
gentleman.
And yeah, and
That's
I was
what I'm
like,
saying, king shit.
and I was like, wow, you love my life. Like, this is crazy.
If you're gonna date a man who will get the diva cup out of you.
Date a man who gets a diva cup.
So, this is so funny. I did not know we had a parallel here. I'm deeply
Yeah.
Don't date this guy.
Example A and example B.
Which one are we picking? Everybody, comment down below.
So mine's so similar.
Okay,
Like,
Just the opposite.
like almost on par. I wanted to try it, so I got it, and mine may have been like a salt cup instead of diva. Same
Yeah,
difference,
whatever.
but I put it in, and I put it in wrong, or just I don't know. The first time you put it in is so awkward,
Yeah.
and it's just so big, and
You have to,
there's
like, fold
folding. You're doing origami.
It's like a lot. Like, I've never been like so in tune with my vagina.
Yeah.
Entering or like inserting
there.
a diva cup.
And I put it in, and I was like, that's wrong. And I took it out, and then I put it in again, and I was like, that's wrong. And I tried to take it out, but it like sealed.
Functioned.
And so then I was like, digging around trying to break the seal.
No, that's the worst part. Is like just being like I don't know, wrist deep, and like trying to figure out where the fuck this piece of plastic went.
Wrist
Like,
deep in your own vagina.
like my back hurts. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, I can't bend like this. So
Episode title: Wrist deep in your own vagina.
and like not even for like a fun reason.
and so I'm like traumatized, but
Right.
at this point, and so I open the bathroom door. I'm like, Winnie the Pooh, just t-shirt, not Winnie the Pooh,
Absolutely Winnie the Pooh.
t-shirt, no pants, and I call for him, and I'm like, hey, I need help, and he comes over and he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I got this thing stuck in me, and he's like, what is it? And so I'm like explaining the concept of a diva cup, and he goes, so what are you gonna do about it? And I said, I need you to get it. And he was like, I'm not doing that. And I said, it's stuck. I need you to get it.
Like, you're not understanding. Like, the word need is like really crucial in this sentence.
And he goes,
Stop it.
Oh no, I'm gonna get angry in a minute.
I think you should call your mom.
No, yeah, I want my mom's hand.
What?
Sounds like a great idea.
I was like, I'm sorry, you can stick your dick down there, but not your hand.
Right,
like your hand has been down there. Your hand has been in there.
right.
Just
Your hand
get it.
has touched your own dick, which is so much grosser.
It's also
Get
just
it.
like I'm just asking you to look at my vagina not as like a sexual organ for like
Yeah.
5 seconds.
You
like,
actually
as a
don't
human
even
being.
have to look at it. I just
Yeah.
need you to feel it in
Like-
there. Like, I'm not looking at it.
Yeah, like I don't understand. Like, sorry, I have a body. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like it's so weird.
I'm a
And
person who
so,
can tell.
I hope he gets like a paper cut on his dick and like I don't know. I hope nobody helps
and then
fix
it
it.
gets infected.
100%. And I hope a doctor's like, oh, I'm not touching that.
I hope he gets
Yeah.
rug burn dick.
Oh my god.
I do too.
So I was crying at this point, and I
You cry.
yeah, I cried because I thought this thing was never coming out of me,
And he wouldn't help you.
and he wouldn't help me. So I said, whatever, I'll take care of it myself. And as the independent woman, got it out.
I'm not shaming you, I promise. I just want to know, how long did you stay with this man after this?
That happened in September, and we broke up in October.
Oh,
Okay.
and that makes so much sense.
That is
Okay,
that's
amazing.
definitely a defining moment in a
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah.
The same as it was for me where I was like, this is a defining moment in my relationship. I feel like the same goes
I'm
towards
like,
that.
I would do that for my friends if they needed that.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking at or touching
Right, like, it's
vaginas.
not-
I would
It's like,
take
they need help. It's stuck.
I would take a diva cup out of a stranger after that. I was traumatized. Yeah. And so, I've never tried another diva cup, but I have tried the disc, and that
Oh.
is a lot better experience.
Gotcha. I gave up on the Diva Cup, and then I
The-
just fancy bougie ass organic tampons because
There's
the other ones have
arsenic.
lead poisoning.
Yep. No, the disc is a lot more flexible and it doesn't create a suction, so I like
Because
it.
that was the worst part.
Mm-hmm.
suction.
Yeah, I'm like, why are we making a factory seal in my vagina right now?
I know, it's like, I'm like on Reddit, like trying to figure out, I was like, why does it feel like my uterus is coming out with my diva cup? Like,
Right?
it's so bad.
God. Well, everybody at home, if you're gonna date a man, get yourself a Lee and not a Ned.
Yep. Make sure he removes your diva cup.
Yeah, if you have a boyfriend
First
right
date
now,
question.
You're
First date
listening.
question.
If you're listening and you have a partner, ask them what they would do if you got a diva cup stuck in you.
Correct.
Yeah, literally first date, first question right at the gate.
Yeah, just ask them.
If I have a diva cup stuck in me right now, would you get it out?
What would you do? How would you assist?
The way that's like a defining like a line that really
I think that's a great question.
yeah.
I'm seriously gonna start asking everybody.
Should we start?
I can't believe we've
Yeah.
learned
I
our
think-
lesson. I did not know there was another side of this story.
I know.
Who would not like you said, like I would do it for anyone.
Anybody.
That's funny. Like,
Literally.
You would text me and be like, guys,
It happened again.
I need help. And I'm there. And I'm risking
and your
in the vagina.
partner, your fiance couldn't do that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, even if I didn't get a diva cup stuck in my own vagina,
Right.
I would still come do it for anyone.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't need to experience that to know that that's probably a scary
Scary?
thing.
Yeah. And a little bit easier if it's not your own body.
Yeah.
And probably the easiest person in your life to ask is the
your
person
partner who's
you're-
already
You already see
who's
me
familiar
naked.
with it.
You're
Like,
familiar. You should know it. You know what's going on down there better than I do. All right.
Yeah.
100%. Wow.
Also, to clarify, I did not call my mom.
And I bet she would have done it because she's a nice lady.
She would have.
Yeah.
I know she would have come over and got it.
She's a
But
feminist.
God,
Feminist
how
icon.
traumatizing for you, for your mom to have to do that.
Yeah.
What happened after you got it out? Did he say anything? Or was he just like, eh?
I came out of the bathroom and he was on the couch and he goes, "Did you get it?"
No fucking way. Like you.
And I said, "Yeah." And I went to my bedroom and I shut the door and I stayed there for the rest of the night. I was in a bad place, guys.
Not for much longer after that.
Thank God.
No, it was like less than a month after that I broke up with him.
Amazing.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for
So
coming.
fun. I hope
Thanks for telling us about your marriage.
Yes.
I hope Lee gets his own episode.
Oh,
He will.
So soon.
And
And we're gonna call it King Shit.
King shit.
That's the episode title name.
our maintenance
Oh,
guy.
Oh wait, building maintenance. I forgot.
Building maintenance, king shit.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Options.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully, I hyped him up enough and didn't embarrass him too much.
Oh, yes.
But also, I don't trust that man to not embarrass me. So it's all fine.
Lee will be on soon, and he will be embarrassing Kaylyn. We're
Correct.
gonna make sure of it.
100%. He's gonna tell the Diva Cup story. It's gonna be horrible.
He's gonna be like, so about that story, let me tell from my
I
perspective.
pull out a Diva Cup.
We're gonna be like, so please give us your perspective.
What was that battle like for you?
I was wrist deep.
He's like, yeah, she nailed it, wrist deep.
I was wrist deep in the vagina.
Not for pleasure.
I was wrist deep in the vagina for business.
Yeah.
For business, for medical reasons.
Correct.
God.
Anyways. All right.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for
on.
coming.
Watching.
Like and subscribe.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.